Welcome to Long Island Stage. I'm glad you're here, and this is a special night. It's our last night in our first series of 6. And can you believe 80 days? And we are just so energized. I don't know what else to say about. I don't want to say excited again because I've already been excited. And tonight is just really super special. We have Mr. James Skidmore again as our guest host. James started us off. He's here to close the book on this first chapter of our existence, which is going to be truly, truly memorable, not only for the artists who are here, but the people who have really latched on to this and said, hey, this is different. I want to be part of it. How can I help? And I've got a real special surprise coming in the mid of this that has given us a bigger audience. And I can't wait to tell you about it, but I'm going to hold things up a little tiny bit. We started this particular show in order to bring to light the great talent that is on Long Island and to spread it out beyond our island shores. And tonight we have a worldwide audience. And I'm going to tell you the countries, when we stop in the middle, that have tuned in. And we know there's at least 4 or 5 or 6 countries in different continents that are tuned in tonight, and we welcome them to our show. In many cases, they stayed up very late or got up very early to tune in right here and live. If any of your friends aren't tuned in, quickly take that mobile phone and chime them in, or your laptop, and get them on, because this is a special live show. Now, we know that these artists are really ready to rock. The noise from this place, we have more artists in the studio than we've ever had before. And there's brass in here, and I mean brass. There is some really loud, talk about a rock and roll band. This brass band really, really produces a lot of energy without amplifiers. And they're going to have that great quality sound that you've come to expect, that our engineers have worked so hard to get the sound quality. So put on your headphones or turn up your hi-fi, however you're listening to us, sit back and relax. We don't have a lot of time, and we're here for a good time. So without further ado, may I present to you, for your listening pleasure, with tunes from the Great American Songbook, the Millennium Jazz Septet.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. She likes the theater, but man, she's never late. She never bothers with people she hates. That's why the lady is a tramp. Doesn't like crap games with barons or earls. Won't go to Harlem in ermine and pearl. Won't dish the dirt with the rest of the girls. That's why the lady is a tramp. She likes the free, fresh wind in her hair. Life without care. She's broke, but it's oak. Hates California, it's cold and it's damp. That's why the lady is a tramp. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blues. Once I get you up there where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You make it all the angels cheer, because we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the word, and we'll beat those birds down to our Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for a fly-in honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair never will go so well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know so well that I've got you under my skin. Anything come what might for the sake of having you near, in spite of the warning voice comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop right before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin, and I like you under my skin. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy that. We are the new Millennium Septet, so we're just a little micro version of what you would normally see, which is 18 pieces. Go to our website, millenniumjazz.com, which has been hibernating for a year, but we're going to bring it back, and also go to our Facebook page, the new Millennium Jazz Band. And now we'd like to bring you another medley. Tell me, when will you be mine? Tell me cuando, we can share a love divine. Please don't make me wait again. When will you say yes to me? Tell me cuando, you mean happiness to me. Oh, my love, please tell me when. Every moment's a day. Every day seems a lifetime. Let me show you the way to a joy beyond compare. I can't wait a moment more. Tell me cuando, say it's me that you adore. And then, darling, tell me when. summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, then we strode that golden sand to sweethearts and the summer wind. Like a painted kite, those days and nights, they went flying by. The world was new beneath the blue umbrella sky. Then softer than a piper man, one day it called to you. I lost you to the summer wind. Well, the autumn wind and the winter wind, they have come and gone. But still the days, those lonely days, they go on and on. And yet who sighs his lullabies through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind, the summer wind. Yeah. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. Word, please be true. Oh, another word, I love you. Thank you once again. We are the new Millennium Quintet. We hope you had a great time. And once again, thanks to LongIslandStage.com for putting this on. Thanks and have a great evening. We'll see you soon on our website.
Hello there. Welcome to Long Island Stage. Thank you so much, Brian. I'm here today. My name is James Skidmore. I'm your guest host today on Long Island Stage. I'm joined here by the new Millennium Septet. These are normally an 18-piece band. Today, we got them scaled down version, performing as 7 pieces. They do a bunch of Latin and jazz and modern arrangements. And I'll tell you what I got to witness and what you guys do today was amazing, that you still have all that great big sound, that big band sound, even with a scaled down version. Absolutely incredible. you know, I'm always grateful so much that I get to be, that this is a part of my life and I get to listen to great musicians. And I'm beyond excited to have you guys, and welcome to Long Island Stage. Welcome.
James. Thank you.
Today we're going to speak a little bit to Steve over here. I want you to tell me a little bit about this band and what you got going on today. And
Well, the New Millennium Jazz Band started about 2010, and we were a rehearsal big band for a while. And our first big gig was at Dix Hills Performing Arts Center. We sold over 400 tickets on our first night, and they were very excited, so were we. We've been playing around for a while. We got hooked up with Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, and they've been very kind to us. They give us quite a few gigs a year. It's a big enough stage for an 18-piece big band, and that's what we're up against. It's a big band. So we have that facility at Suffolk Theater. That works very, very well for us. And we have a lot of great musicians in this band. We have a great book, and the book has about 430 charts in it, male vocals, female vocals, instrumentals, Latin, and jazz, and some top 40 actually also, which is pretty interesting to see.
Right, great. Well, you know, something I'd like to meet some of your band. I'd like to know your names, what instruments you play, and where you're from here on Long Island.
Well, my name is Steve Perillo, and I play flute and saxophone, and I grew up in Bethpage, now a resident of Ronkonkoma. And this is Alex Sonera. Talk.
Yeah, my turn.
I never had to stop you before.
I was ready to say my name again. I'm Alex Sonera. I'm the vocalist, and I've been with the New Millennium Band since I think 2012. I play some minor percussion, but I really focus everything on vocals, and it has been a joy and a passion for me to be singing with these guys.
Oh, cheers. Well, thank you for being here. John?
Yeah, I'm the keyboard player with the band, and I help to assemble our book and to keep a modern twist to all of our arrangements, both vocal. We have duets we do with Pamela Lewis, who's been on your show, I know, and with Alex at Suffolk Theater. You put on some wonderful, wonderful shows there, and I think people are enjoying the sound of the band and the kind of modern version of a big band, which is exciting for us.
Incredible. Thanks again for being here. Dennis?
Yeah, my name's Dennis DeGregorio. I'm the guitarist, originally from Huntington, now in Smithtown. And I'm just glad to be with these guys in the rhythm section. I just love playing with John and Peter as well. And we just really have a little chemistry among us, and we just have a lot of fun in the rhythm section. So I'm really glad.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I can definitely notice that chemistry, you know. It shows in your performance, and I really appreciate it. Peter?
Yeah, I'm Peter Greco. I'm the drummer in the band, and as Dennis said, I just love working with them and personally just hanging out with them. We're friends, which is really important. I live in Huntington Village. I also have a drum studio on Main Street in Huntington Village where I teach, I record videos, educational videos for a Modern Drummer magazine, write books, and I just drums. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Joe?
It's a pleasure.
My name is Joe Forcelli. I'm originally from Patchogue, New York, and musician, and also great to be a member of this band, music teacher as well. So yeah, I've known a lot of the guys for a long time, Steve and John, probably going back 2006 or 7, and Eric even longer, going back to middle school probably. So it's a pleasure to be in the band, a lot of great musicians, and I also lead my own jazz groups, and it's been a crazy year with the pandemic, everything shut down, but yeah, awesome to be here, awesome space.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome. How you doing, Eric?
Good. I'm Eric. A lot of fun. This band is inspiring. Some of the best on Long Island and in New York in general. And they play a wide variety of styles. So that's a ton of fun. That, you know, it's not just this type of style that you heard here. It's a wide, different styles of jazz. There's tons of different types of jazz. And we definitely cover a lot of different eras, different time periods. So And also some of the pop music integrates into a jazz setting as well. So it's like combining, you know, modern with the classic history. So it's a nice combination. Yeah, I'm from here, Huntington Station, and went to 3 colleges for jazz trombone. So I love jazz, and also teaching now at 5 Towns College and playing as much as I can, enjoying everything. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Welcome again. I mean, really, you guys were absolutely incredible. Now, you know, this is a big band. How do you guys, you know, when you have 18 pieces, that's amazing. Where did you
Pull
guys
your hair
meet?
out with it.
Well, you still have some. Don't worry.
It's not easy. It's not easy because everybody's working. You know, hopefully not last year, but our musicians are great musicians, and they are working. And if I might have a date where they already booked something, so I have to get a sub. Our sub list has depth. We have major depth in the band. I could fill any seat at any time if somebody can't make a show. You know, 18 pieces is a big band. I'd love for the audience to see 18 pieces.
Sure.
I mean, we have a video clip. Are we ready to roll that? Let's go to the videotape. We're very happy to be here at Suffolk Theater playing tonight. It's going to be a great night of swing dancing. Tonight we're featuring the music of Frank Sinatra.
Well, this genre is, we pay tribute to the great big bands in the era of Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett, but then we put a contemporary edge on it by playing modern arrangements of some of the American songbook that we still stay true to, but in a more contemporary fashion.
Well, I met Steve and John, the piano player, through the Dowling College Jazz Ensemble, and I was singing with them probably for the better part of the last 5 years or so. I want to dance a birthday with you. I always try to put my own style. I think the wonderful thing about what we try to do is that a lot of the arrangements are different, whether it's slightly or quite a bit, and I think the important thing is always to give it your own style, because I want to sound like me.
I subbed for the band about a year and a half ago, and I heard about how good the band was, the great guys, the great musicianship, and I subbed, and it turned out they didn't have a drummer, and they liked what I did, and they asked me that night after the performance if I would take the drum seat, which I did, and I love it. We also do a lot of jazz, a lot of Latin jazz, a lot of cutting edge jazz things that are on the jazz charts right now. So we span from the 40s to everything that's happening now, which is nice. Keeps it interesting.
Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru.
Wow. Now that's some big sound. Oh my God, guys, incredible. You know, I heard this big sound, you know, from 7 pieces. That's absolutely amazing. Incredible what you guys create. You know, I'm really, again, honored to have you here, to listen to what you make. And, you know, while I was sitting here, tell me a little bit more about this video and, you know, and this clip.
Well, we were very, very fortunate to be at the Suffolk Theater. They have a stage that we fit on perfectly. They have sound guys, they set us up. It's an excellent place for any group to play, but they really take care of us very, very well. People come to watch us. We sell out a lot of shows. In fact, people bring their dancing shoes with them. They bring them in a bag, and they put their dancing shoes on, and they just, big dance floor, they just love it. Swing dancers come to watch us play. So it's very, very exciting. The energy from the audience is terrific, so we really like that. It's a great place to play. Plus, we also play at weddings. We've played other theaters. But you could hire this band at any time, whether it be 3 pieces, 5 pieces, 7 pieces, 14, or the full 18, or even with a female voice, 19-piece big band. So we would love to play the parties that people are having out on their lawns or in their theaters or wherever else they're playing. And we've backed up acts like Joe Piscopo, Felix Cavalier and the Rascals. We've done some work with him. So it's a very exciting time for us because we have all these opportunities to perform at Suffolk Theater and other places.
Great. I'm sure that you guys are excited to get back out there after this past year.
Please, yeah.
You know, I can't even imagine not doing something that you loved. You know, and I noticed as we were speaking, you know, that you know, your full-time jobs too is, you know, other than music is music too. Which I always hear with people who have a great passion for it. You know, they're either teaching or they have music shops, and you know, I love that you could surround yourself with music because to me it's one of the most special forms of communication there is. And you know, so tell me, how did you occupy your time with this? So were you creating any other type of music? And this is for everyone.
You guys, you were doing stuff.
I was
Peter
doing
working.
25 online drum lessons
Wow.
for my studio. I wrote a second book, drum book, and I started recording educational videos for Modern Drummer magazine. So outside of playing, kept pretty busy.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Good
great.
to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I've noticed that a lot of people have kept themselves busy within the art that they love.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Now, what got you involved in music? Did you have you know, this goes to everyone. Do you have parents that are players? You know, I hear a lot about that as well. Or you know, there's just great musicians that you loved and you wanted to emulate.
Well, in my house, we grew up with everything from Count Basie to Sinatra to Fitzgerald to Johnny Cash to Machito to Tito Puente. It didn't matter. My father had an array of albums, and there was never one type of music played in my house. So we grew up listening to everything. As far as vocals go, my father used to like to sing, and so I would sing along with him. And, you know, although he never pursued it as a career, it was something that I wanted to do. And, you know, I got my start just like everybody, a lot of people did, right, in church, right? You start singing in the church choir, and then you start singing a solo here and there, and then you do it in school, and before you know it, you're doing it. But from an influence perspective, we heard everything in my house. So it's, you know, there isn't one genre of music that I can't sit and listen to and appreciate.
Wow, incredible. Thank you. Anyone else want to add to that?
Well, you know, growing up playing a lot of music in the jazz bands, and also right after the concert was over, you'd hear people coming up to you and saying things like, "You sound great. I think you should stick with this." And hearing, you know, various friends and different teachers, you know, people like Curtis Fuller and John Batiste were really encouraging to me and giving me words like that, a lot of people like that, and saying, you know, this is your calling. You're meant to do this. Because I was interested in a variety of different subjects. But music, people kept saying, this is what you're meant to do. So it felt like the purpose, you know.
I'm glad they
Similar
spoke
to
to you.
these guys.
I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Really. It was.
Real great honors. So, you know, how does the creative process work with such a large band? You know, do you guys sit down and discuss what type of music you're going to play? Do you know, I heard someone talking about, you know, doing some set list and things of that nature. Is this a group effort, or is it?
Well, it depends on where we're playing. It depends on the event itself. In February, we do a Valentine's show, and we do love songs, Sinatra. So we need, besides Alex, there'll be a female that they could sing duets together. So it does depend on the particular show that we're doing. We have done a whole show of Bobby Darin.
Oh, yeah.
We did a whole Bobby Darin show.
And the
Dean
Copa
Martin.
show.
Copacabana.
show.
Copacabana was great. That was a lot of fun. Everybody in costume. You know, I hired a conga player with the ruffles, and I had two of our female singers who were dressed up
We had
like.
Susan Martin from the Chiclets.
That's right. That's right. And they were. So that was a great show. So we try to create shows. It's more than a gig for us. You know, we think about what we have to do, and in the fall it's autumn in New York. So we try to make the set list fit the event that we're doing. We're very fortunate. John has done an awful lot of work finding music for us, and he is. I mean, sometimes when he buys music, he's doing conversions because he's in touch with people all over the world. So whenever we need a chart, we think we need something, John's very good at finding things. So it really is an event-driven set list, if we could say that. We talk about it, we put it together, we kick it around, what songs do you want to sing, you know, Alex? And we go back and forth. The set list kind of morphs. It keeps molding into something that works well for us.
And I think you have to add to that, with the exception of 2020, we all know why, right? The pandemic year. He makes sure that we make it work, and twice a month this band was rehearsing. Always learning new material, always working on something different, so that when the gig did come up, when the time came, you know, we weren't light years behind, we were ready. And I think that's a tribute to Steve's effort and the guys coming together and always making sure that we make the time a couple of times a month to get together and work on this material.
Well, it absolutely shows in your performance, and it's really been a great pleasure to speak with you. But unfortunately, we don't have time to carry on, and I would actually love to carry on for a while. So let me know, where can we find your music?
Well, you can go on to our website, newmillenniumjazzband.com, or you could catch us on Facebook. We have a lot of YouTube videos from the events that we've played. So you can catch us on YouTube. Just type in New Millennium Jazz Band and you'll get various videos from various gigs that we've had. Right now, because we're just gearing up after a bad year, trying to find places to play, we can say that we are booked December 5th at Suffolk Theater. We're doing a wedding. Sinatra's birthday. We always do a show in December for Sinatra's birthday. And we have a wedding to play in October at Oheka Castle, which we're very excited about. But right now,
we're doing that with Sal, right?
Yeah, right now that's what we have. That's the gigs that we're looking for. We are looking for work, so anybody that has a place that we can play at,
call this guy.
Small group to a large group, we can fit that bill anytime. So.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen, so
James,
much.
thanks,
The New Millennium Jazz Septet here. Back to you, Brian. Thank you again so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, that was special. We thank to have a full house, and you know what? The interviews come, and you start listening a little bit to why things happen and how people learn, and it's like, you know, you're opening a book, and I want to tell you about something really super special. A good friend of mine, Truett Tate, introduced me to just a wonderful charity that's just starting off. To me, it makes sense. It's called Thinkably, and it's bringing new writing, new composed books and works about what's happening today for children. And it falls directly in line with what Ramona's Gift of Music does in order to give the gifts. You know, we are seeing some great artists here, and they didn't start from scratch. They were influenced by others, by people who went before, and that's how we get there. That's how we make life better for the next generation. And Thinkably is really special. I'd like you to take a few seconds and watch this great video and clips and learn a little bit more about this great organization coming to America real soon. Take a peek.
Is this thing on?
I'm the father of 3 young children and know firsthand the pressures and the anxiety children are facing in the world they live in today.
It's a safe, dynamic, fun online library for kids to learn about the issues and challenges of our times.
For me, it's about making great characters that children can really empathize with and understand their journeys.
ancient voices in the night, tears and slamming doors, silence in the morning light. It don't matter anymore. Let it go. Daddy never told you how, and Mama, she can't hold you now. Wandering streets of town while they tear the station down. Let it go. Wish it well. Set it free to let you be. Let it go. Wish it well. Call it a day and be off on your way. Angel, turn your homeward gaze on a place grown so strange. How much longer must you pass your days among things you cannot change? Let it go. Wish it well. Set it free to let you be. Let it go. Wish it well. Call it a day and be off on your way. Love has come to claim you. Love has called you by your name. Hear the echo down the streets of town while they tear the station down. Let it go. Wish it well. Set it free to let you be. Let it go. Wish it well. Call it a day and be off on your way. Call it a day and be off on your way.
Thank you. We are gathering time. My name is Stuart. This is Hillary. That was Jerry singing lead on that song, which he wrote. And the title of it actually doesn't appear in the song anywhere. So why don't you say what it's called and what it's about just a little bit?
Well, it's called Station Song. It's actually from our second CD together, but our first #1 CD called Keepsake.
That's #1 on the folk radio chart. We're not that big yet.
Yeah, if you're wondering why the Bentley was parked out front.
Wasn't ours.
It wasn't ours, yes.
And it's about something here on Long Island.
It's getting, where people were upset when they were tearing down the old train station in town where I grew up, and it's about being unhealthily attached to the past, which I'm still working on.
We're going to do a song now that I wrote some years ago when I realized I was falling in love and had this realization while I was watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy on cable TV. It could happen to anybody.
As one does, yes.
So this is called The Highest Walls Guard the Greatest Treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind the castle walls of brick and stone, a treasure lies known but to you alone. past a creaky stair and a wooden door, a dragon's lair and a flagstone floor, a velvet chair and an iron hinge's groan. And thus I press on, inch by measure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. With every step I hear the cautious word, only a fool pursues the singing sword. It's guarded by the darkest night, for slain her foe in every fight. Your final light is all you're heading toward. But the greatest of risks bring the greatest pleasure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. The battlements are set on high, the parapets abrade the sky. A portcullis and a bluff that overlooks the sea defend a heart that won't be taken easily. I know I've learned and often heard it said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And though it's true that gold and jewels are coveted by thieves and fools, my aim is to a higher purpose led. And thus I press on, inch by measure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. 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 Thank you.
I know the audience out there in the cyber world is going wild.
That's what happens. That's kind of a skiffle thing. Skiffle being what the English did to American blues, but that's skiffle being put through sort of the folk rock blender. So we're going to do a song now going back a couple of albums. This is one that Hillary wrote, the very first one that she wrote.
He likes pointing that out.
I do, because it set the standard for all the other ones that she wrote.
Yeah, it just made it hard for myself.
This song is PG. It's pre-Jerry.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right.
And it's also an audience favorite. We probably get this song requested more often than any other one, so.
All right. All right.
I tell you, the
All right,
kid's
just
good.
sing. Stop and sing the song.
Remember me when the snow comes. Remember how the journey took us far from home. Remember me through the winter, in the dark of night when you feel all alone. Remember me in the springtime when the birds are singing love songs in the wood. See my smile in the flowers and know that I would still be with you if I could. However you may chance to roam, I'm thinking of you whether And if you find you need a home, remember that you always have one here. Remember me in the summer. Remember long hot days of wandering far and free. When the sun sets and the stars shine, in the moonlight shadows, please remember me. And if you find you need a home, remember that you always have one here. Remember me when the leaves fall, when a year's gone by and only memories fill the loneliness that you left me. Remember that I loved you and I love you still. Remember that I love you and I always will.
I still got a lump in my throat sometimes from that one.
Thank you, people in the audience who are out there going, oh, I like that.
We're going to do one more for you now. A few years ago, I saw it was starting to happen in America, and some hate groups were starting to feel empowered to come out of from under the rocks they were in. And I started writing a song, and this is what came out. And by the way, we sometimes get compared to Peter, Paul, and Mary, and we do tribute shows to them.
It must be his long flowing
It's
blonde.
gotta
Must
be,
be,
yes.
yes. And this is definitely...
I'm obviously Mary, is what she's saying. Yes.
This one is definitely in that vein. It's called Too Far to Turn Back Now, which is what I think we're at. 1, 2, 3. At the wilderness, General Grant, he cried at all the gallant men who died. And he cast his eyes at 1,000 graves in the great war to free the slaves. But he rose and made a vow, we've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. We've come too far to turn back now. After the Ardennes, Eisenhower paused at all the sacrifice it caused. 90,000 men, 500,000 more, to end a genocidal war. But his task was planning how we've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. We've come too far to turn back now. In every age there's a fight for freedom and for right, as people rise to say, can't take these away. Down in Birmingham and in Washington, and the places rights were slowly won. Martin Luther King, many others killed. See the dream of America fulfilled. And songs of hope they did end out. We've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now. beats with dread, though he thought it dead. As thoughtless hatred rears its head, as the good book warns, in words so sage, each generation, every age, we must renew our sacred vow. We've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. We've come too far to turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. Won't turn back now. We've come too far to turn back now. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jamie Ramarini, and I proudly run Compel CEOs side by side with my father. We are a membership organization supporting business owners and executives on Long Island. Instead of telling you about our organization, I'll let you hear from some of our members on their success as a business owner.
Compel has given me access to an incredible group of business owners and professionals who listen and really care about the success of my business.
Compel has helped me grow myself and in turn helped me grow my business. I've been able to sell my business twice to private equity, and it continues to do well.
My Compel family gave me the wisdom, education, and encouragement, the strength and everything else to keep going.
If you know or are a small business owner or executive, give us a call.
Hello there. Thank you so much, Brian, and welcome to Long Island Stage. My name is James Skidmore. I'm your guest host tonight, and I am joined today with Gathering Time. They're a folk rock harmony trio. They have a blend of originals and traditional covers. They have played both nationally and internationally, as nearby as neighboring Canada, as well as Germany and Ireland. It's a real incredibly great pleasure to have you here, and wow, I was really blown away by the harmonies, and I just really, it's an honor to hear this, and thank God that today we're all on we're at Inspirement Studios, so we got some top-end audio that's going out there, so the people can absolutely appreciate it. What I heard here today in studio, and 3 cheers. Cheers.
We'll take them. We'll take them.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. So here I am with it's Jerry, and
yes.
Hillary, and Stuart. I mean, welcome again. Tell me a little bit about your band and this, and how you guys got together. I want to hear a little bit from all of you. Where you're from. We'll just start with that. How's that?
We're going to go back to the beginning because it starts with them.
I was here first.
That's true. It all went back to a cruise night in Oyster Bay, 2006.
Wow.
Our former member, Glenn, had a steady gig playing solo at the classic car rally that they have in Oyster Bay. It's still going on every Tuesday night.
Oh, well, it didn't go on I think it's starting again this year.
Okay.
Good.
Pre-pandemic.
Yes.
And I knew him from a songwriting workshop group years before. Ran into him at a concert. He invited me to join him. As I was walking up this one night in late May, I hear a woman harmonizing with him. And after initially thinking, oh darn, I'm going to have to wait now, I realized she sounds really good. And they started doing a song, I think it was one by the Eagles.
I can never remember.
Where there was a third harmony part, and being the very shy and timid person that I am, I just sort of walked up and said, hey, can I sing with you? And she kind of looked at me with I don't know. So I started singing the third part, and it sounded good. And
I think he's embellishing on asking.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think
Yeah,
I
definitely.
remember that perhaps there was a tip of the hat or something, because I was like, here's this guy coming over here, and suddenly he's on the mic with me, and I was like, oh, wait.
Well, definitely
This is
pre-pandemic
that.
then, yeah,
I mean,
right.
I think you can stay. You know?
So that's how the group formed. Fast forward about 6 years, Glenn decided to go off solo, and several people recommended Jerry, who I also knew from that same songwriting workshop group, the Island Songwriters Showcase, and he stepped in, and it's been just up from there.
The people who recommended me really had it in for them, you know. But yeah, it was. It's funny. I think I was at a point in my career. I've been fortunate enough to be a musician for the last 37 years. You know, it's actually more than that now. I think I graduated from college and, for the most part, made my living as a musician. But I was at a point where I was in some kind of doldrums. I wanted to know what I should do next. I felt like I wanted a new challenge. And then I'm sitting at home and my caller ID says Stuart Marcus, and I'm thinking, what is he calling about? And he goes, well, you know, Glenn's leaving. Would you be interested in joining? And it was like, join a harmony trio. Awesome. And as we say, the rest is history.
Well, he plays bass, he sings harmony, he plays lead guitar, and he dances too, which meant that
Under duress. Under duress. Yeah.
It's the puns that appeal to me. He is the king
Yes.
of
The long drives.
Oh, boy,
yeah. But
It's really a magic collaboration, and I'll tell you, it was a real treat for me to listen to this. And where exactly are you from? Oh, on Long Island?
well, I grew up in East Islip, and then I migrated. I moved a long way. I moved to Blue Point, and then
I'm in Oyster Bay. I've been up there for a long time. Shortly to go upstate, but they won't let me quit, so.
All right. Well, I'm glad they aren't.
I'm the only non-native Long Islander here. Actually, no, you were born
Well, I was
somewhere.
born in
West-
Michigan,
yes.
but I came here before I could remember it. So it
I
doesn't
was
count.
born and raised in Rochester, upstate, and after college I spent a few years in Brooklyn and then moved to Malvern. I've been there ever since, so been stuck there. It's a good
so we
place to be. right off the
triangulate the island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your appeal, this folk sound appeal. Because when I think of Long Island music, this is usually not the first genre that I think of. So I don't know, because when I listen to you guys, I hear the mimicking of the beautiful landscapes and the shores, and that comes with the harmony. So I really appreciate the way you communicate Long Island through your music. I don't know if that's something you do purposely, but for me, that's what I feel. So I'd like to know your connection with folk music, really, and what you guys create. And then on top of this, I hear that this is, all of you have original songs. You all contribute to this trio. I mean, how fantastic is that? I mean, I'm really always inspired by the creative process. So, today I got a real treat today. So I'm really excited. Sorry. So, I don't know what the question is, but tell me all about it.
I'm fortunate enough to have had the dubious fortune of being the youngest of 6. And so my older brothers and my sister were there on the first wave, where hearing the Beatles, but also hearing Dylan, and I was, one of my earliest memory is of the JFK funeral, but aside from that, it's the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, where I was allowed to stay up and watch. But they also had records by the Kingston Trio, John Hammond Jr., and all sorts of stuff, and the early Dylan stuff, of course. So I was being fed that, through the bedroom door the whole time. And then about 20, well, actually closer to 30 years ago now, there was an ascendancy of a new generation of folk singer-songwriter like John Gorka, Richard Chindell, people like that, sort of brought me back into the fold, and I began to write. And that's how I had met Stuart, through that songwriter showcase he was talking about. So all these things kind of come together, but they have plenty to say as well.
Cheers.
Well, the first recorded music I can remember as a child was the first Peter, Paul and Mary album, which would get put on the little box stereo where the turntable folded down and the speakers were in the side. And my mother and my grandmother would be singing merrily along to that as they worked in the house. And my grandmother had been a professional singer in her youth, but gave it up to have a family, as one did, you know, in like 1928. But I would come in there being, you know, 3 years old and want to sing with them. And if I was doubling anybody's part, my grandmother would kind of rap me on the head and say, there's 3 parts. You find the part nobody else is singing. That's your part. And that was certainly far from the only music in the house, because my mother was into rock and roll. I would come home from school in the afternoons, and as she was cleaning and had the windows open, I would hear my Led Zeppelin records blasting out the window down the block, because she would turn it up loud enough so that she could hear it over the vacuum cleaner. But there was every kind of music in the house, and it was very participatory. My grandmother had a Hammond B3 in the living room that she played, and everybody had to do it, you know. And all kinds of music were fair game. To this day, if you look through my CD or my MP3 now collection, you'd think it was assembled by 6 different people. You know, everything from show tunes to heavy metal.
I can't recall a time when I wasn't listening to music and singing it. My parents were not into rock and roll. They were definitely of the big band and the Crooners album and era, and I still love that. I love the sound of a brass section, so I was enjoying the new Millennium septet there quite a bit myself. A lot of folk influence. I remember singing along with Peter, Paul and Mary stuff when I was a little kid. Then when I was about 5 or 6, my uncles drove up from New York, and they had Simon & Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water album on cassette, and I devoured it, and I didn't want to let them take it back. And I thought they were the greatest thing I'd ever heard until I discovered Crosby, Stills and Nash. And then all of a sudden, wait, you can do that with 3 parts and electric guitars too? Okay, even better. And the Beatles, and you know, album-oriented rock stations back then played a lot. Everything from Simon & Garfunkel to Queen to Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
And I sort of internalized all of it, but I kept on coming back to the folk rock, the Byrds, Simon & Garfunkel, CSN, America, Joni Mitchell, and that's what really stuck with me. So I like all kinds of things. I love sea shanties also, which all of a sudden have gotten hot, and I always I just love the sound of an acoustic guitar, and love good songwriting. So kind of found a home in the folk and folk rock world. But I think all of us like a huge variety of stuff, and it kind of comes in.
Wow, it's really always interesting to hear that, because you know, when I see well-rounded musicians and I see great performances, you know, there's usually a great diversity of music. They just don't hole in on just one thing. I mean, music is an evolution of its own, you know, and as I grow older, there's certain sounds that I used to appreciate when I was younger, not so much now. But I always loved it. And in my household, we had, my mother used to work for KTEL Records. Do you remember? Remember the KTEL?
Yeah.
You'd sit there and with a credit card or whatever, you'd punch in and you get the record through the mail. Well, right here on Long Island.
I do.
I still do too.
Gosh.
But my mother worked here, so as children, we'd actually go there and we'd watch the records get pressed.
Oh, wow.
And this was, you know, so there was just a great variety of music. And now I'm not a musician myself, but I've immersed my world around music wherever I go. So, you know, it was really just incredible to listen to your stories and everything. What venues would you like to go to? If there was like this venue somewhere around the world that you would like to perform, where would it be?
Somewhere around the world?
Anywhere, yes. You know,
Well, I'd love to play Madison Square Garden, yes. But the one I would love to play, there's an old amphitheater in Caesarea, Israel. It was buried in sand halfway. It was built by the Romans during the reign of King Herod. Actually, he built it to please his Roman patrons. It is acoustically phenomenal. I went there for a talk, and a guy was speaking unamplified, and you could hear him all the way in the top because they knew about the shape of a parabola and how acoustically perfect it is. And I remember going there as a kid and seeing a poster for an Eric Clapton show there. And now, like, Philharmonic orchestras play there, and operas, and modern bands too, and that's the one place I would love to play.
I would defer to that.
Well, I could be talked into that, though. You wouldn't have to twist my arm. Red Rocks. Now I had a wonderful experience there where I got to hear the infamous String Dusters open up for Ryan Adams. My wife and I were on vacation, and sitting there with a bunch of Colorado hippies and the air
The
wafting
miasma.
up, but the second song that the Dusters played was a song that Andy had co-written with my son Travis. So it was a great moment for my wife and I to be looking out at this beautiful venue and hearing that, and I wouldn't mind being on that stage myself sometime.
Incredible, yeah, and it's so nice that we have these connections to what goes on, and Andy Falco and the brothers and all these fellas here from the Infinite String Dusters. We have an incredible, diverse music scene here on Long Island, and there's people from Long Island that are playing all over the world, and boy, I'd love to perform at Red Rock too, and it's. I'd have to learn an instrument first, and maybe learn how to hold the tune.
Minor detail.
I could help you with that.
I might take you up on that. Now, musically, being so close to New York City, sometimes we get lost in the Long Island music scene. Is there something that you'd like to see change on Long Island music, or is there something that you think that would benefit the musicians that are here on Long Island? Here at Long Island Stage, we're trying to, showcase what goes on here. We think that, nationally and internationally, we deserve a larger platform. We need a larger piece of the pie, and I think, having you guys, I think you're Smithsonian bound. That's an incredible sound. And, I'm so glad that, just being in this role that I was able to be introduced to you for the first time. And, and to hear you live, I was like, oh yeah, this is really great. So I would love more people to get to hear you guys. Are there any festivals you'd like to be at? There's got to be some great premier folk festivals around that you'd like to participate in.
Certainly I'd love to play the Philly Folk Festival and Newport. There's one that's held annually upstate called the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. We actually played there on the main stage. We won the Emerging Artist Most Wanted contest, and they had us up there once, but we'd love to play there again. But yeah, there's some great ones, certainly, that we'd love to do. Those are the big three that came to mind because they're in the Northeast where we live.
And we love to play Bradstock.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yes,
love
we do play Bradstock, and that is a great
Bradstock.
experience.
Yeah. For those that don't know Bradstock, it's a yearly event that's been playing for over a couple of decades.
Yeah.
And I was actually there at the first two Bradstocks in the backyard there.
Oh, wow.
And it was it's incredible even to be part of that history over there. And the third one, we put together the first Circle of Chiefs, and I was there. And now I don't even know, is it 25 years later, 30 years later?
26
or 7, I think. I think
Yeah.
it was the 26th that ended up getting pandemicked.
But what I love is that it's the closest thing to Woodstock you're going to find.
The vibe,
2.5, 3 days.
It's a great vibe,
at Bradstock is unlike Falcon Ridge or any of the other festivals that I've been to. You just walk in there and nobody fails to smile at you.
Yes.
No, but you walk through, it takes you twice as long to walk across the grounds because everybody's like, hi, and you're like, I don't know you, but I love you too. It's
kind of like
great.
the Kerrville Folk Festival in Texas.
Now, I haven't been down there.
Too. Yeah.
So.
Similar vibe.
But it's an attitude-free zone.
Yeah. Cheers. It is a wonderful experience, and it's great that we get to experience that every single year. And that's at Camp Paquatuck, yes?
Yep. In East Moriches, yes.
In East Moriches. I know that we have been doing some benefits over here, and through Brian over here at Brytech, he's helped out a lot in that arena. Where do you, it's been such an interesting year. Creativity in this this COVID era. How did you guys, were you meeting, were you performing together? I guess there was no actual on-stage performances, but how did you keep in contact? How did you keep on point? How do you still sound this great?
We had some outdoor gigs last summer, in September, and then we were able to do some indoor ones. We opened up all the windows, and
we fired up his actual wood stove instead of the digital one. Put our buns as close to it as we could without setting on fire. Opened all the windows and set up the Zoom thing for people. You know?
Yeah.
And Facebook Live and
Yep.
made these things possible.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing that was interesting is that there sprung up a whole lot of Zoom open mics and song circles that I started sitting in on. I was the only one that didn't have at least a part-time day job to help things. But I sort of just made contacts and made friends literally around the world. There's one every Sunday in Jerusalem, a couple in England, one or two in Canada, some up in Massachusetts. There's one called the Portsmouth Maritime Folk Festival. It's all about sea shanties and nautical music, and I actually won a songwriting contest that I wouldn't have even known about except I discovered the Zoom song circle they were doing, Shanty Circle. So that's kind of been a silver lining, I think, for me.
Well, great, thank you. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time, and I would really love to spend more time listening to your great stories. But how can we contact you guys? How can more people be introduced to your music and what you do? Have a website or a Facebook page or?
All of the above, and if you Google Gathering Time, it'll all
be there for you.
Yeah.
The bounty will
Thank you.
Yeah, because by the time you
Twitter.
get done listening, the website, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, the Spotify, it's like, use Google. It's all there.
That's the easiest way. Or info@gathering-time.com.
Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
It was such a pleasure.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Real pleasure. Cheers. Back to you, Brian.
Hey, that was great. Gathering Time. Jerry, of course, I know quite well from around town, and just so really glad to have them here on the stage. This is exactly what we're looking for. These are local artists, and I know the interviews, you say, well, if you listen, there's just great information and worldwide information. And speaking of worldwide, thanks to Truett and the people at Thinkably, we have viewers tonight. Certified viewers. When I say certified, we know that they're on from Brazil, Singapore, Denmark, Australia, UK, and Sweden. So we want to welcome those viewers from those countries to Long Island by nature, by this virtual connection, and by our common connection to go one step further than the standard day-to-day, to read more, to listen to music more, to not just listen, but to learn about the artist and how they came to be. Now, the stories of life are what drives us, what makes us special. Story songs especially, we love them. We just get caught up in those stories, and it's what we do to transmit our history to the next generation. I'm glad you're here, but there's a few things I do need to take care of before we get to our little trivia section. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is this great new set of loudspeakers that we've got for that are going to go for auction. These are Bowers & Wilkins speakers. They're very, very famous. They're well known, and they've been painted. They're one of a kind for Brightech's 30th anniversary by Mireille Bellajonas. Mireille is a wonderful artist here on Long Island. She has, with her husband, a great studio. They teach. He teaches classical guitar. She teaches music, and she teaches art. And it's just a wonderful way to tie the art community. So today we have these three great worlds coming together. The world of reading and kids understanding their world better through Thinkably's great concept. I love that concept. We have the music that we've heard tonight and the stories of those musicians, of how they got here with James Skidmore. And we also have this great visual art that's on speakers. I mean, what a metaphor that is. It's got to be relating. So you keep your eye open on social media and on our other channels to see what's happening. Now, we hope you're tuned in by the biggest channel we have and the best way that you can see this to iStudios.tv. iStudios.tv. You certainly can watch on Facebook or YouTube because we're simulcasting there. But the best feed and the fastest way to get your information, because there's less delay, is from iStudios.tv. And we know that's our biggest listener pool, a viewer pool. So we're going to speak to you guys. If you're on Facebook, that's great. You'll be able to participate but if your answers are right, they may be a little bit slower. So go to istudios.tv. And over time, you'll see iStudios grow and more programming come on. What you're going to be able to win at this trivia contest, and this is trivia about Long Island Stage because we want those people who've been faithful viewers to really get a shot at this, is these wonderful candles which you've seen from Makery Long Island. Again, a Long Island-based company, a young couple who's put together some really unique thing. If you've been following them, which I hope you do, they've got some unique bottles coming that they're clear and they have lighthouses in them. They're just really, really creative things. So that's the narrative that goes through all this, the ability to create. What a great gift that is to us as human beings, is to be able to create. It's it's a godlike thing. It's in His likeness. It's cool. So we can make stuff out of other stuff and make more stuff and make music and make art and make words. And with that, I want to make sure that we put a shout out. That's kind of a new thing for an old guy. A shout out to Compel CEOs. I know we ran a spot for them. A great way, if you know of anybody who's got a small business and maybe they're super busy right now and can't find people, or they're trying to find their way in this new world of how things work. Compel CEOs is a great way to get advice, and it's a great community of business owners. And Steve and Jamie Ramarini run that, and they do an excellent job. I've been a member there for 20 years, and it's certainly helped Brytech. Fathom Clothing, I don't know if we got some of those shirts out there that we can take a picture of. John, we can get somebody on the camera there with those great shirts. Fathom Clothing is a great way not only to support our project here, the Long Island Stage Project in association with Ramona's Gift of Music. It's also a great way to show you're from Long Island or you support Long Island arts. Let's see yourself around town. Everybody who's wearing them, I hear, they're like on trend, whatever that means. So we're going to move into the interview area, and who's set up there? None other than the brain trust, I call him, of our organization, our fledgling organization, soon to do a lot more. And that is our writer, Ed Schmieder, who's interviewed every single one of these acts. Actually, he's interviewed Murray about the speakers. I encourage you to go to longislandstage.com and read a little bit of these little synopsis of how these people got to know us and what they're about. It's wonderful work. Ed's going to be a part of our trivia team. Mike Coular and Johnny Sachs, Johnny Mangione, those are the founders of Ramona's Gift of Music, and we're so, so, so thankful. Because without them, we wouldn't be able to put this on. This would have remained a dream. So those three are going to hit you with some great questions, and you're going to win those people who are quick to the keys and get their answers in quick enough will win some great prizes, some candle bags, baskets from Makery Long Island. So gentlemen, take it away.
Hey everybody, I hope you really enjoyed our first season of the Long Island Stage. Brian already introduced us, so I'm going to get to the very, very first question, and then I'll share a little bit information about who I am. First question, that very charismatic MC, Brian, every single week is wearing a special type of hat. What kind of hat is that? And I'll give you guys some time to type in your chats, on Facebook, on iStudios, in the chats. Get your answers in. My name's John Mangione, otherwise known as Johnny Sachs. I am a co-founder along with Michael, you'll meet in a little bit. We give the gift of music to children, and I was fortunate enough that Brian came to me and asked, would I help him fulfill his vision and his dream? And I've known Brian for those 20 years he's been in Compel, and I was a Compel member at one time. So we're going to have some more questions. We have a leaderboard. I'll call it a leaderboard. We have a prompter in front of us waiting to give us who is the first winner of the first prize that we're giving out. Mike, why don't you just
first off,
share with everybody your experience with just this amazing event?
First off, the hats are a standout every week, so I look forward to seeing which color hat's going to go with the outfit that Brian is sharing with us. He does a fantastic job and really brings us to life. The whole experience here has just been amazing, and meeting, more importantly, all the amazing musicians is what this is all about.
I don't mean to interrupt you. We'll get to Ed because he has the fortunate that he spoke to every musician that performed here. But we have a winner. Amy Schultz got the answer correct, and it is a bowler. We would have accepted a derby, but the proper terminology for the hat that Brian's been wearing is a bowler. So we're all going to ask a different question, and
right here.
Michael Cuellar, co-founder of Ramona's Gift of Music.
Hello again, everyone. Okay, so for number 2, question number 2. So one of the very unique things about the Long Island stage are the props that are placed all around here. And they're amazing really to see them. I know you see them on screen, and we get to see it live over here. So question number 2, can you name at least 3 of the different types of props that are all around Long Island stage? And then, to John's point, Michael Cuellar, I am the co-founder of Ramona's Gift of Music, where we do bring the gift of music to children. Partnering with Long Island Stage just was the perfect fit for us. I mean, we promote and help the students in their goal and dreams to become professional musicians, like the people we're seeing here on the Long Island Stage. And working with this group really just gives us an opportunity to spread the word about how music really affects people's lives in a positive way, especially during this last year and everything that we've gone through and missed it all. So it's been a lot of fun doing that and being a part of this with them all.
It has been an amazing ride. But Ed, you had a chance to talk to every single musician here.
Yes.
That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, from my perspective, I think I'm the luckiest guy to be associated with Long Island Stage. The 2 great loves of my life have been literature, reading and writing, and music. And I'm not a musician, but I am a deep listener, and I love creative people. And it's been terrific because we've had 12 acts over these 6 episodes. And I had a chance to talk to all of them, and not only has it been totally interesting for me, but I think I may have developed some new friendships as well, based on our exchanges. But I see we have another winner.
So Mike,
we do. We have a winner, and the winner for question 2 is Bradley McMullen. Bradley picked 3 items on the Long Island Stage props. And just to name a few, I mean, we have the turntables that are here, the reel-to-reel. Personally, my favorite, the lava lamp, which is a very special one for me. So, thank you. And I'm going to, Ed, you want to take over for question 3?
So I have the question number 3. And there's a 3 in the question. And that is, we're asking you to name 3 of the performers who have appeared here in the 6 episodes of Long Island Stage. So name 3 of the performers.
Now, Ed, just sure. Not to interrupt, but if they were watching the show, they got 2 out of the 3. All they have to do is remember one more.
No, that's just had to be paying attention.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but
you're almost there. If you were paying attention, you're almost there. But my name is Ed Schmieder, and I am the person who has been, as I said, interviewing the musicians, and then I have been writing the 2 or 3 minute reads. We don't do word counts anymore. We do minute counts, I guess. And I have been writing the profiles of the individual artists or the acts that have been performing here. And it's a dream sort of come true for me to be able to interact with the range of musicians. And the other thing is, I am deeply, deeply into music. I'm almost embarrassed. I don't know if I'm proud or embarrassed to say that, I sit in a listening room that has 6,700 CDs, surrounding me. And I guess a little point of pride is that I can talk to lots of different musicians because I listen to such a wide range of music that that we can have conversations about rockabilly. We can have conversations about big band charts. We can have conversations about solo performances. Looks like we have a winner. Somebody has identified 3 of the acts, and that is Caitlin Myers. So congratulations, Caitlin.
Congratulations, Caitlin. So, question number 4. It's only been mentioned at least 3 or 4 times every single episode. In fact, we've already shared it with you, but what is the foundation that is partnered with the Long Island Stage? So, there's a common denominator amongst all of the musicians that we've been talking to throughout this whole season, and that is, I've never heard one say they only listen or play one genre of music.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. The background of bringing it all together. It's not just honed in. Maybe eventually over time they become a little more honed in on what they're performing, but it definitely is a vast background of music.
Well, it's kind of funny. I had a conversation with one of the artists. I don't remember which one, where this came up. But we were talking about the first records that we bought, so I sort of, in a way, right from the get-go, I sort of fit the mold of the breadth of the artists we have here, because I'm a 10th grader. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm going to an E.J. Corvette's department store. You've got to be of a certain age to know what I'm talking about, and I buy 3 records. I buy a record called God Bless Tiny Tim. I buy a record called Fresh Cream by the band Cream, Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. And the 3rd record I buy is by Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, called We're Only in It for the Money. So yeah, right away I literally have big ears, but right away I had big ears.
Very good ears, because you really do appreciate a lot of different styles of music. And we have a winner. It's Daniel Morton, and I know the foundation very, very well. RGM Foundation is our abbreviation. It's Ramona's Gift to Music, and we continue to give the gift of music to children. So, Ed, I think you have question number
5.
That's the final.
Yeah, so I have the final question. It's my honor to ask you, viewers, to name a major sponsor of the show. We know that Ramona's Gift to Music is the charity, the foundation associated with the show, but we have some major sponsors who are also spoken of in every episode. So we're looking for one of the major sponsors of Long Island Stage.
You know what I would like to just remind everybody, just how amazing what Brytech has done here in this studio. All of the artists are going home with their episode that they can use to promote themselves, and that was one of the gifts that we wanted to give all of these musicians who poured their heart and soul, came here, set up, sound check. They had to take time out of their regular day to do this. So we really want to thank all of our performers throughout the whole season that came here and performed for us.
And what I would add about the gift of the copy of their performance and the show that they performed on, having spoken to all the artists, having researched all of the artists, some of the artists that we had here were artists who had just the very beginnings of a social media presence. And so the gift of it, a high definition audio and a high definition video to post and to promote themselves is tremendous. And we have a winner, and that is John Grady. All right, John, congratulations.
Congratulations, John. And Mike, why don't you just share the different major sponsors that we did have?
This couldn't be done without sponsorship and the support that we get for Brian and the crew to put this all together, which is amazing. And of course, you happen to mention one, Brytech, one of the sponsors, Compel CEO, Fathom Clothing. I mean, we all have it, love it. There's also 3G Warehouse and Legacy Advisors.
Yep.
Are the major ones. And we want to thank them and everybody else who continues to support Long Island Stage and keep this thing going. We love our Long Island musicians. And with that, we're going to send it back over to Brian. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Gentlemen, it's an honor to work with you on this, and I can't. If I have any advice for anybody, share your dreams. Get some friends, share your dreams, and put a team together, and you're going to be able to do great things. And without that group of people, Ed talks about being into music. I call him, he's a musicologist. There's nobody I know, and I've spent a lot of time listening to jazz and artists that I would never, ever, ever even discover. There's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's a resource we now have. I'm just really blown away by the support we've had, both on a personal level and friends who've called, who've texted, emails I get, and such. But I'm really moved, especially by the responses we're getting from the artists. We have gotten passionate, personal emails that just really made the difference to get them back on track. So that wouldn't happen without your help. And one of the people I'd like to help is to say thank you to is Makery Long Island. This is a gift bag that those people who won trivia, and there's beautiful candles, and there's 4 or 5 items in here. I got to tell you, it smells really good. We've had these in our conference room. There's a handful of bags in there, and that conference room really, really smells good. So you're going to appreciate those gifts. Hey, stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming. We've got a rap meeting coming up. We're really thinking about what's going to be next, and we hope you come on board. All you have to do is go to longislandstage.com and register to get on the list, and you will be kept abreast of anything that comes up. We don't know what's going to happen during the summer, but if you stay tuned, you're certainly going to hear more information about what's going on and some of those great stories that Ed has discovered of these artists. We thank you so much for staying tuned in tonight. I'd like to thank the crew, John, Matt, Hudson, JP, Patrick, and the rest of the team. This takes a lot of people to put this together. It's really been a learning experience for us, and we really, really enjoy sharing with you and now the rest of the world. Thank you, Truett, and the people at Thinkably for getting us over those into other places in the world. And we can't wait to see what's going to happen next when we all pull together to help each other out. It's going to be great. So tune in, stay tuned. We love you. Take care.
Hey guys, when it comes to shooting live events, Zooms, or even podcasts, do you feel like you're stuck in a box? Well, what I want you guys to do is check out Insprint's studio at Brytech. These guys have one of the best kept secrets on all of Long Island. So if you want to make sure your event goes perfect, check this out. They have a full media tech support crew. They have all the equipment and some of the best spaces to shoot any kind of events. And I'm a PJ professional. I shoot live virtual coaching events with people tuning in all around the world. I don't want to leave that to chance. So whether you need some kind of special backdrop, let's say you want to be shooting from a conference center, let's say you want to be shooting from the beach, or you want to be shooting from a golf course, and you want to have an amazing backdrop like this to hit golf shots into, you can pretty much do anything with Brytech. So check these guys out, one of Long Island's best kept secrets. If you want your event to go perfect, this is the place to be.
Every night I lie awake, watching clocks and counting days, wishing I was with you already. I don't know how long
get to you and fast. I think I might just break my heart. It's so heavy. I need to get to you. I don't know when or how or where, but I'll be coming through. So expect me soon. I will run or drive or fly, whatever I have to do to get to you. I'll get